Hey girl, hey! Welcome back to my channel. Hey boy, hey! Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and welcome back, you guys. I'm super excited to be here with you guys, being over 1,000 subscribers. I couldn't have done it without you, and I really appreciate all the love and support that I'm getting on my PSA. I just wanted to let everyone know that I was well aware of the trolls when I came. And unfortunately, when I was an addict, I was a troll. I actually went in people's comments and bashed them too. And so I turned over a new leaf, and I knew that when I started this channel that I would get a lot of haters and trolls. And so my public service announcement was basically just to let you guys know that I have a blocker heavy finger. And so it was just so for the subscribers that are here that they know that if they make a snide comment or they're trying to start things or be negative, that their comments will get deleted. I wanted to put that out there ahead of time. That way people aren't like, well, why are you deleting my comments? I can always revert back to my PSA and say that I felt like somebody was bashing me, bashing Shanann, bashing the children, bashing the victims, or bashing another subscriber, or bashing another YouTuber. So I just wanted to let everyone know that that will not be tolerated on my channel, and if I see it, I will delete it. We will not use names of other YouTubers unless we are sending people there to subscribe or to check out some of their videos. I have a very thick skin, you guys. I was in abuse growing up as a child. I was in a abusive relationship for almost all of my life. So I went from one abuser to the next. And so I've been told all kinds of things. I've been told that I'm ugly. I've been told that I look better with my clothes on. I've been told that I got an 8 head. I've been told that I'm stupid and lots of stuff. And so none of that really bothers me. So when you are opening up with, this is a good video, but you need to stop yelling, or you're saying things like, I was going to watch this video, but her voice irks me or is like nails on a chalkboard, then just keep it moving. You don't have to be here, okay? You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to watch. I don't use a microphone because I know I'm loud. And so it is what it is, and I am no longer going to apologize for anything that I do because I am genuine and I am real. And I will let you know when I'm in the wrong, and I will also admit when I've been in the wrong in the past and that I'm not perfect and that I have no right to sit here and judge another creator. Neither do they. This is a free world, and so we are allowed to subscribe or unsubscribe. So I just wanted to put that out there. So I was getting a lot of comments saying that I am going to get these trolls and stuff, and I know that, and I am going to delete and block as fast as I can. So if anybody wants to bring my attention to certain comments, then please let me know. And as my channel grows, I will be selecting some moderators, okay? The moderator is going to have to be someone that is open-minded and that will allow people to put their opinions here. Now, if your opinion is different than mine, then I'm not going to delete and block you. I want to hear it because I have so many unanswered questions that I love hearing other people's take on it. So let's get to the interview. On August 17th, this is Nichol Kessinger's first phone interview, you guys. If you want to check it out, go to Scott Reich's channel, and it says Nichol Kessinger's first phone interview. Now, I'm only going to do the first half of it. This is part 1 because there's so much in this interview that I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm only going to go over the first half of it. So this will be part 1, and there will be the second half later on. So the agent, Kevin Kobach, is at the beginning of the video. He works with the CBI, and he is calling the witness in the Watts murder. And he says this on the recording. he says that he is calling Nichol Kessinger, who actually called him last night at 2 a.m. She was texting and calling him on August 16th after her interviews. So she had already interviewed with her father and Kevin in the interview room 1. That's why there's no audio of it. There's no video of it, because interview room 1 was going in and out. It kept audio the whole time, but the video was going in and out. And I do believe that they had somebody else in interview room 2, which is where they made sure to put Chris at, so the video did not go out. But I did find out from Discovery that in interview 1, the video was going in and out, but it kept audio, and that is why we only have audio of Nichol Kessinger's second interview. Her first interview was in the park, and we only have audio of that because it was on a tape recorder. It wasn't in the police department like her second interview. All right, and then we have her third interview, which has audio and video, and she brought both her phones in, and I just covered that. But in between the second video, where there's only audio, and that one where she brings both her phones in, there is this interview. This phone interview took place. So I probably should have did this one before I did her third interview, but you guys know what I'm talking about by saying her first phone interview. So again, he calls her and he says that the call is going to be about addressing what she said on that call the night before, when she called him and said that she remembered some important further information. He says that the call is also going to address issues that were not addressed in her initial interview when she was there with her dad and we only saw audio. And this is when this one comes after. It is at 10:51 a.m. in the morning on August 17th, and she answers with hello. And Kevin says it's him. It's me, Kevin Kobach. She says hi in her voice. He apologized for taking so long to get back. He said that he was in a meeting earlier that morning. And she says she got a little sleep last night. And he says that she sounds better. NK says she feels a little better. She says she's sitting down and talking with everybody, and it is helping her. That sitting down and having these conversations with the detective and other people, I'm sure, is helping her. So he asked about contacting her a victim's advocate. Now, this is before she met Hazel. So he must have gotten her in touch with Hazel after this phone conversation. And she says that she is going to need him to go ahead and do that after he says that he will contact her a victim's advocate. He says sure, and not to tell him about any of that since they talked about it yesterday. And that's very curious to me that he says, yeah, we don't need it. I'm going to get you a victim advocate to talk to about all of that, and we don't need to discuss that since we talked about that last night. He's telling her to discuss that with the victim advocate. So I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe it's her job because she has not been fired at this point. He will get her in touch with someone today, he says, and then he asks what she remembered since she texted him at 2 a.m. She says she just kind of remembered odds and ends, and she is sure that there will be more that she remembers as time goes on. Since she was with him so much, and sometimes she has to stop and remember all the info she has gotten from him in the last few months and week or so. She says she can't promise, but she won't, she can't promise that she won't be calling back with more. So then Kevin says, please do, since you know him better than anyone these last 8 weeks. So she brings up the eHarmony and how she can't find the text Kevin is talking about with her and Charlotte talking about this site. And she says she does not know what he is talking about, but if he finds it, let her know. She says that that site was not worth a damn for her, and she never discussed it with Charlotte. Now, this site being brought up makes me wonder, since we all think that NK and Chris met way before, if they met on eHarmony and then Chris got her a job there. Possibly. It's another scenario. NK says, however, when she went back through the text, she did notice that she did offhandedly tell Charlotte just a little bit about Chris, but not how deep the rabbit hole went, is what she told him. It was kind of vague, she said, and that Charlotte was asking a lot of questions, and the agent brings up the conversation about her telling Charlotte that Chris has kids. And NK says that Charlotte won't connect the dots and probably has not seen what is going on in the news. Now, this is the second one of her friends that she says has not seen what's going on in the news. She said the same thing about Jim, that he travels out of town and that he's probably not seen what's went on the news. This is like her go-to statement when it comes to her friends. So she says if she don't say a word about Chris, that Charlotte won't even bring him up. If she did, she is not concerned. She can tell her he's not in her life anymore. And the agent says his only concern was the text about a boyfriend. But now he knows that she was talking about Chris. Sorry. She then says she went through those texts and did not say anything about eHarmony, and maybe she missed it. So the agent's not even asking her about eHarmony. He's asking her about the boyfriend that he read about in the text. And he's saying, I figured it out that is Chris. But somehow him asking her about the boyfriend and him finding out it was Chris makes her revert back to the eHarmony topic. And she then says that she went through those texts and she did not see anything about eHarmony. Maybe she missed it. So the eHarmony, the Charlotte, and NK saying she has a boyfriend is somehow tied with this eHarmony text that Kevin Kovac is talking about. So they don't really talk much about that again. The agent asked about what else NK says was important. And she said, okay, so Monday night, couple of things. I told you that he texted me, and then at the end of the night, we had, or I had, or he had. And that's what she said. She says, okay, Monday night, couple of things. I told you he texted me, which she did. She said he texted her at 3:45 in the afternoon on Monday. And then at the end of the night, and she stumbles on her words, she says, at the end of the night, we had, or I had, or he had called. Either way, we were on the phone, and at some point on the phone, he was like, you want to FaceTime? She remembers she was laying in the bed, and I was like, okay, I'll turn on the light. And she says it was awkward and short, and he did not say much, that it was super brief, like less than 5 minutes, or a couple of minutes. He was laying on a mattress without any sheets on it, she says, and she was thinking he's in bed. I don't know what's up. But asked where the sheets were. Chris said he washed them. She says that she can't remember when Monday night, but it was saying he was saying that he was cleaning his house to try to stay busy and keep his mind off things. She said it was kind of late, but that man is always cleaning, organized, and meticulous. She says he's the type of guy that will vacuum a room and then vacuum it a week later, even if the rooms were not used. I don't know why she said that analogy, but because it's his routine, she says. She said it was not a red flag since that's what he does. She then says on his days off, she says he organizes the basement or cleans the garage. Now, how would you know that? Were you there when he was organizing the basement and cleaning the garage? And she says that he does this on his days off as if more than one. Like every one of his days off, he's doing this. So it again makes me think that she was in the house more than she admits to. And she says that's what he does. She says, but it dawned on me that he had said that same night I had to wash the kids' sheets because they smelled. She said that made me think, since he keeps it so clean, she said it was the cleanest house she had ever seen. Why would the kids' sheets smell bad? Now, she keeps saying he keeps it so clean. what would make her think that Shanann didn't clean that house? I know that he cleaned it while they were gone, but the meticulousness of it and the organizing and all that isn't just Chris. So she doesn't give Shanann any credit for that, just says that Chris does it all. It's the cleanest house she's ever seen. Well, that's because they help each other keep it clean. So the agent asked, what time was that call where he says that the sheets smell bad? And she says, Monday night. No, he says, what time was the call Monday night? And NK says, I have no idea. I wish you guys would show me my phone records. He says he will, then the agent says that he'll read off Monday and Tuesday. And NK snaps back with, no, just Monday night. Like she doesn't want Tuesday read on the recording. And the agent says that Chris called you Monday and y'all stayed on the phone for 48 minutes. At 9:48, the call started and they got off at the phone at 10:35. Then another one for 51 minutes Monday night. He says it looks like she called him on this one and the call started at 11:09 and it finished at midnight. So they were on the phone from 9:48 to 10:35 and then they got back on the phone from 11:09 to midnight. So there was only a tiny little break. They weren't on the phone, and she says in between these two calls that they FaceTimed. So they stayed on the phone pretty much from 9:48 to midnight, okay? And then Chris calls you again for 30 minutes at 12:08 to 12:38. So basically they stayed on the phone from 9:48 to 12:38. So they're on the phone for 3 hours with only little breaks in between. There was a 48-minute call from 9:48 to 10:35. Then immediately after, there's a 51-minute call from 11:09 to midnight. And then Chris calls her again from 12:08 to 12:38. And then another 2-minute and 44-second call at 1:12 a.m. to 1:15 a.m. And that's not all, but NK interrupts him at this moment. She interrupts him, but for them to be on the phone all that time, neither one of them thought Shanann was coming back. You wouldn't be on the phone from 9:48 till 1:15 in the morning if you thought this woman was coming back. So I feel like they both knew at that point that everybody was dead. If NK wasn't involved, she definitely knew or was involved. NK interrupts him and says, yeah, I would go get my text messages from his phone from that night, and I would sync them up to those calls since there was texting in between. So she admits they stayed on the phone that whole time, and they FaceTimed in between calls, and they text in between calls. So, she said that the gap from the first to the second call, which is only 30 minutes. There's only a 30-minute gap. And she says she got up out of the bed and that's when they FaceTimed. Since she could not sleep and she did laundry and then she called him back. And then the agent interrupts her and says, there are more calls. And NK says, there's what? And the agent says, at 1:50 a.m. to 1:58, there's a 7-minute call. And then at 2:07, there's a 10-second call where you didn't answer. And then you called him back from 2:08 to 2:18, a 10-minute call. So basically, they were on the phone from 9:48 till 2:18 with small, tiny breaks in between. And she tells agents earlier that she only talked to Chris at 3:45 and she called him back on her back patio at 5 o'clock and never mentions all these all-night phone calls. Okay? And then she says she will help him line it up. That she almost wants to come in there and drop and drag all her texts. He says they may do that early next week. And NK says all calls at the end of the night was her freaking out. I can't sleep. I'm really scared. Where's your family? Again says it's her freaking out and Chris is calling and reassuring her and trying to get him, and she's just trying to get him to talk to her. and making sure everything was okay. She says she would sleep for 15 minutes and then up for an hour and was sporadically calling him. He asked her if the texting Tuesday were about her confrontation about Shanann being pregnant, and she says, yeah. Agent says, and if she found out that Shanann was pregnant on Monday, don't you think she'd be going off on him on Monday during these calls instead of waiting till Tuesday to go off on him? The agent said that the last call Monday night, aka Tuesday morning, then asked NK what time Shanann got home. And NK says, no, she got home on Sunday. So it's almost like the agent was trying to trick her up. I think he knew she got home on Sunday, but he was trying to trip her up to see if she was there when she got home by asking that question, pretending like he thought it was Monday. And the agent says, that's right. Did you ever talk to Chris late Sunday night? And she said, no. And then she contradicts her no and says, but we were on the phone, but she had to let him go and get up and go to work. Did you stay on the phone with him all night till time to get up and go to work? He literally asked her about the call Monday night. This is the 111-minute call, you guys, on Monday night. On Sunday night. The night that Shanann was killed and got home. The agent says that's right because he thinks he tries to trip her up and says it's Monday, but it's really Sunday. And then he asked her, did you ever talk to Chris late Sunday night? And he knows she did. He has a 111-minute phone record in front of him. And she says no, but we were on the phone, but she had to let him go and get up and go to work. So she says no, she didn't talk to him, and then says that they were on the phone, and then says that she had to let him go to get up and go to work. She did not say she had to let him go to sleep to go to work. She literally says, I had to let him go to get up and go to work. And this is the night that he killed Shanann when she came home. So you would have to let him go at 4 a.m., wouldn't you? Or 3 a.m. because he had to get up and go to work. That's what time he gets up and go to work. She did not say I had to let him go at 11 p.m. so he could go to sleep to be able to go to work. Her exact words when he said, did you ever talk to Chris late Sunday night? She said no, but we were on the phone, but she had to let him go and get up and go to work. Interesting. Agents remind her it was actually 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And NK responds, that was the last time I talked to him until the workday on Monday. And completely eludes the question. He did not say, when did you talk to him? He said, what about the call from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.? And she doesn't even talk about that call. She eludes the question and says, that was the last time I talked to him until work on Monday. He didn't ask you that. He asked you what you talked about and if you talked to him. So it would have been a yes or no answer. Yes, I talked to him. The agent says that's when he texted you at 3:45 because she said that that was the last time she talked to him before the next day. Well, at this point, he's told her that he texted her at 3:45 for the first time on Monday. And that's when the agent says he texted you at 3:45. She says, no, he randomly texted her during the day on Monday, but it was about random BS. And the agent says, most important thing here, you said, is that the kids' sheet smelled, and Chris had told you that, or the most important thing that we have here is that you said, Chris said that the sheets smelled, and that you noticed there were no sheets on the bed. And she is trying to get away from that 111-minute phone conversation because her exact words after that is, yes, let's get back to that because I feel like you and me are getting off track. And I went back to see what they were talking about for her to think that they're getting off track. And that only thing they talked about was the 111-minute phone conversation on Sunday. So she's basically saying, yeah, we're talking about Monday right now. I don't want to talk about Sunday. And we're getting off track. No, actually, that 111-minute phone conversation is on track. It is exactly what the investigators have no clue about. They already know about all this other crap that she's saying. They've got phone logs. They want to know what was said on that 111-minute phone call, and she has yet to say anything about it. So this is where the video ends for me, because I have to do the last 15 minutes of it on my part 2. So this is only the first 15 minutes of that video, you guys. So don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We're still going over Chris's interview, his 5-hour interview in Wisconsin. We have to break that down. We're still going over Discovery, and we still have Dr. Phil's podcast, his final episode. Tomorrow morning, it will be uploaded onto his podcast. So I will make sure to get that to you guys pronto. All right. So we have a lot to cover in the next few weeks. And I love seeing everybody's theories. I love seeing everything that everybody's doing. And I'm so sorry if my voice carries. I don't have a microphone, you guys, and I don't plan on getting one. So give me a little bit of props for that. Knowing that I am loud and that I do get passionate, and that I don't need a microphone, right? You guys can hear me just fine without a microphone. So thank you so much for all the people that are supporting me. Just remember, before you make a comment, that comment could get you blocked. All right? Much love to everybody that is being awesome. And don't worry, my skin is super thick. I have been verbally abused my entire life. And I can still smile. I can still be strong. I'm a pillar of strength, you guys. That stuff just bounces off of me. But I wanted to make that public service announcement so people will have a reference whenever they're like, well, why did I get blocked? That is all the reasons why I would block someone. I would never block you because your opinion doesn't match mine. I would never block you for voicing your opinion. I would never block you for being passionate, for getting heated, for any of that. And hopefully I have a connection to this NK final chapter, if it's really for real. You know, I don't know. It could have been hype made up to buy the book, or she could have kept it out to try to make more money after the book. Or her editor could have made her remove it because it talked about the dark things. So if I can hunt that down, you guys, and figure that out, I promise you I will bring you that NK chapter if it exists. All right? Thank you so much for watching my video, and be looking for another one for the end of this NK first phone interview. And I really appreciate the love and support. You guys have no idea. It really does make me happy. Thank you. See you live soon. Bye. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Can't get too loud. Like and subscribe. See, I can get loud, you guys. I have yet to get loud on this channel. That was just tiny volume compared to how loud I can get. And I don't ever want to get like that in my lifetime. That me is behind me. And as soon as I start feeling anxious, I don't let anger build in my heart. I get that out right away. I do something that will take that anxiousness away, and I revert back to my positive self. I refuse to let anyone get me out of my character. Not even my children. I know even when to walk away from my children, because I have just built patience over the years. And so bring on the hate. You're just going to get blocked. You're not going to get a response. Bye.